Lambert here with Town and Lake Homes. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about, is now a good time to buy a home? I'm going to give you expert tips and a market forecast. So are you pondering the big question, is now a good time to buy a house? This video brings you comprehensive insights from the current real estate market, packed with expert analysis and forecast. This video will give you an overview of the housing market both nationwide and locally here in Virginia. Let's dive into the latest trends and what they indicate for buyers. So whether you're a first-time home buyer or whether you are an investor looking for property, or if you might need to relocate to the state of Virginia, we've compiled data, expert opinions, and local insights to help you make an informed decision. You know, there's a lot of negative information in the headlines these days you might hear, right? You know, the housing market is not great, worst time ever, slowest market ever, but you know, negativity sells. We live in a clickbait society, but normally you need to dig further to find out what the truth is. So I'm going to go over why it may be a good time to buy a home, but my job first and foremost is to give you facts so you can make an informed decision. All of our contact information is in the comments section below this video, so if you want more information or have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me there. So why is now the slowest market? That may be true as far as volume goes and the number of sales, but that does not mean it's a bad time to buy. There's always a seasonal low every year between the holidays through about February. So a lot of people put off home buying during that time with everything going on, cold weather, the holidays, and so forth. But there are usually less competition during that time, which can be, during that seasonal low, a great time to buy. Next, I want to talk about interest rates. So interest rates hit a high of 8% in mid-November of last year. That's the highest we've seen since the 1980s. But most experts believe those interest rates are going to drop. And in fact, we've had some rates fluctuate and they've come down slowly already a little bit this year. They're in the mid to upper 6% range and on a downward trend. So we know there's a lot of debate about interest rates and maybe a slight pause here lately due to economic forecasts. But even though rates fluctuate, house prices are going up. So it may make sense to go ahead and buy before those price increases come into play with the house that you may want to buy. Interest rates, again, the forecast are that they should come down this year significantly, we should say, at least by next year in 2025. But overall, the opinion is that by the end of this year, they should tick down slowly to a little bit lower rate. Because of the price appreciation of homes, it may make sense to go ahead and buy before those price increases occur. And if you will look at the attached chart here, you're going to see that all of the forecasters in all of the different expert categories have upwards increased their price forecast. So let me say that in a better way. The expert analysis have increased their forecast of the price appreciation for homes this year. So you can see anywhere from 2% to 5% this year, they've revised those figures up. Now last year here locally at Smith Mountain Lake, I've analyzed the figures, and last year home prices overall with all home types in this area increased 4%. So should be probably about that same amount this year. And so but by going ahead and purchasing now, you're not stuck with that interest rate forever. So if you can qualify and afford to buy at the rates today, because there's less competition, it might make sense for you now. Let's talk about home seller motivations. Right now, home sellers are seeing less showings and the days on the market have actually increased. So looking in our local area year over year numbers, the number of homes sold are down, and the days on the market over the last 6 months, the average is 48 days on the market. So because of that, some sellers are more apt to negotiate on price. Last year, we were looking at the ratio of list price to sales price was around 100%. So houses were selling at 100% on average. But now, that was the year prior. Now, this past year, that is more like 97% of sales price. So that 3% difference in sales price can significantly put money in your pocket, right? That can save you money on 3% of a home price sale. All right, now let's look at some of the things that sellers are offering these days. Now, in a lot of markets, I'm seeing that home sellers are offering to pay for closing costs. That can come in a lot of different forms, but usually it is a flat rate that they offer to pay towards your closing cost. Another popular trend we're still seeing, the 2-1 buy down on mortgage rates. So talk to your lender. A lot of lenders that do offer the 2-1 buy downs can be very useful for you if you are tight on your budget. So the way that works in a 2-1 buy down is, let's say in an example, the current interest rate is 6.7% on your mortgage. With a 2-1 buy down, it means that in the first year, you're going to have a 2% lower rate. Thus, your rate would be 4.7%. Then the following year, the rate would be 1% lower than the current rate. So you'd be paying 5.7% that second year. Then on the third year of the mortgage, you would adjust to the current rate, back to 6.7%. But as I said, hopefully rates will come down by then and you could refinance. So, before you have to pay that full rate, you would be in a better situation. Another thing that has come into play is we're seeing the resurgence of adjustable rate mortgages, or ARMs. Those can be in different terms of 3 years, 5 years, or 7 years. So for example, you could have a 5-year rate of 5% over those 5 years for an adjustable time. But you have to remember at the end of that locking period, the rate will adjust. Now, it's not like the adjustable rate mortgage we saw years and years ago where those could drastically increase. Now these have caps on them. So the amount of the rate that it could go up is capped, and it shouldn't be that much. Now, some lenders are offering free refinancing down the road, and that could be very helpful if you were to buy now and need to refinance. Some of these lenders will pay for the refinancing. In other words, you would save the closing cost of refinancing, and that can be significant. So all of these options with financing and the seller motivations can help get you in the door now at a home that you might want to buy. Next, let's talk about builders and new construction. So a lot of large builders in a lot of areas are offering credits, home seller credits, and a lot of other incentives. Some offer lower interest rates on new home construction. Now, in our local market here at Smith Mountain Lake, we do not have a lot of the large commercial home builders, but I have seen it in a lot of these surrounding areas that you could get a good deal if you're looking at new construction. Next, let's talk about what's going to happen when rates go down. So a lot of people have been sitting on the sidelines just waiting for the rates to go down. They just simply don't want to pay the higher rates that we're looking at right now. Or another factor is they own a home currently, and even though a lot of people want to get out of their home for various reasons, they might need more space, so they need a larger home, or they might need to downsize, they may be retiring, or they may be looking to relocate to another area of the country. But that's a problem for them because they're sitting on a low interest rate and don't want to move and get rid of that interest rate that they've locked in, right? So if you look at the numbers, currently 83% of homeowners have a rate on their loan of their mortgage interest rate is 5% or below. So there are a lot of people out there that have those low rates and just simply aren't motivated yet to move. But my feeling is as soon as rates drop, there will be a flood into the market, and there will be a frenzy again, a major frenzy like there was a couple of years ago when we're seeing multiple offers, and that's a very stressful situation. If you want to avoid that competitive situation And again, now is a much better time to buy when you don't have to be so urgent and quick moving because of competition. So it may be time to look at homes and be able to negotiate. Now, I don't know what's going to happen all over the country, but in our local market here at Smith Mountain Lake, so many people still want to live here on this beautiful lake, so there's a lot of pent-up demand. Some people are regretting waiting over a couple of years ago. Some people stepped back because things were so competitive with homes selling in a day at multiple offers, so they decided to wait. But here we are looking at higher home prices, so the cost of waiting is really significant. So home prices are still rising because of low inventory. So let's give you a hard example here. If you're looking at a $500,000 home and the price of that home is going to increase by 5% this year, then in 1 year that $500,000 home is now costing you $525,000 to buy. So that results in a higher down payment and a higher price that you're paying for the home. So even if interest rates come down in a year, and your mortgage payment is going to be maybe a couple $100 a month lower, that's not going to account or make up for that $25,000 price increase in my example. So the cost of waiting can be significant. If you want to see other hard number examples of the cost of waiting, it will blow your mind. It doesn't make sense sometimes to wait, even if interest rates are higher right now. So it might make sense to you to buy now while you have all of these things that I have gone over with less competition and locking in the home at the current price. So if you need more information, reach out to me. I'm happy to go over this in more detail with you. Have a wonderful day.